सर OLQs थोड़े ज़्यादा है नंबर में एंड कई बार एनालिसिस में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो जाता है। देखो, OLQ इज अ क्राइटेरिया गिवन बाय द आर्म फोर्सेस देमसेल्व्स। सो जो उन्होंने क्राइटेरिया दे रखा है वो तो आपके लिए 100% इंपॉर्टेंट है ही है। व्हाट विल इट कम डाउन टू, है ना? कोई सर ऐसी चीज बताओ जो प्रैक्टिकल हो, वाले यूज करना थोड़ा आसान हो, एंड विल ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड अ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स आल्सो ऑफ द सेम। सो बेसिकली आई ट्राई टू समराइज इट इन 5 broad things: extraversion, openness to experience, agreeability, conscientiousness, neuroticism. Alright guys, so good evening everyone. So lot of times I get question, sir OLQs थोड़े ज्यादा है नंबर में एंड कई बार एनालिसिस में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो जाता है। सो टू दी स्टूडेंट्स आई ऑलवेज टेल, देखो OLQ is a criteria given by the armed forces themselves, ठीक है, और the services selection board, SSB so to speak. So जो उन्होंने क्राइटेरिया दे रखा है वो तो आपके लिए 100% important है ही है, fine. So the 15 OLQs, all of them are important, very crucial. But if you were to simplify them, because these are basically done on the basis of leadership studies, right? And if you were to simplify the OLQs, so what will it कम डाउन टू, है ना? कोई सर ऐसी चीज बताओ जो प्रैक्टिकल हो हमारे लिए, है ना, हमारे लिए यूज करना थोड़ा आसान हो। सो विल ट्राई एंड डिस्कस दैट these things, right? And we'll try and understand a few examples also of the same, fine. So basically I'll try to summarize it in 5 broad things, fine. First one is extraversion, second one is openness to experience as well as to ideas, third one is agreeability, fourth one is conscientiousness, and finally we have neuroticism. So all of these things have a varying degree of contribution towards leadership, correct? So let's first talk about extraversion, correct? So extraversion is basically the kind of people who wear their heart on their sleeve. उनके मुंह पे वही है जो उनके दिमाग में है. That is being an extrovert or extroverted person. Lot of us face some hesitation. कई बार क्या होता है कि जैसे आप GD में भी पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो तो अरे सामने वाला क्या सोचेगा, आई शुड नॉट कम अक्रॉस एज डोमिनेटिंग, ये सारे सवाल रहते हैं, ठीक है? अरे भाई बोलो पहले, अब बाद में डिसाइड करना whether or not you are dominating or not. Getting my point? But for that you need to initiate, correct? And for that you need to first have a certain degree of awareness of your own thoughts. You will be an extroverted person only if you can discuss your feelings, your thoughts, correct? एक्सेस तो सामने ही दिख जाता है हमें, थॉट्स एंड इमोशंस, ये दो चीजें अगर आप डिस्कस कर पाते हैं तो यूजुअली क्या होता है कि लेट्स से इफ आई एम फीलिंग एंग्री, ठीक है, आई विल बी सो एंग्रोस्ड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर इमोशन दैट आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू एक्सप्रेस इट। होता है ना कि यार मेरे को इतना गुस्सा आ रहा है कि मैं कुछ बोलने की हालत में नहीं हूं, तो निकल यहाँ से। गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? एक्चुअली इफ यू वांट टू बी एन एक्स्ट्रोवर्टेड पर्सन you need to recognize that and you need to speak up why you are angry, because that's what extroverts do. They communicate their thoughts and emotions, correct? They do not act on it. If a person gets angry and if he starts beating up people, then he's acting on it. And if any person he's feeling angry, he talks about it. Okay, I'm feeling angry, what can I do about it, right? Let's say this thing triggered it, maybe, let's say he's just trying to understand. So he's not acting on it, he's discussing it, correct? So my question to you guys is that which kind of a person would you prefer to be with? A person who acts on it or a person who talks about his thoughts and emotions first before acting? That is the question, right? And that is what you have to understand. What kind of a person would you want to be, right? So this is the first part, extroversion, right? You should be able to discuss whatever is on your mind. Next we come to the second trait, which is openness to experience, openness to ideas. So most commonly what we observe is आप लोग देखोगे बहुत GD के टाइम पे there is one particular person who's just trying to impede the whole group discussion, correct? उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता भाई कोई बोले ना बोले, उसको बोलने को मिलना चाहिए, ठीक है? और चाहे उसके पास पॉइंट हो ना हो, उसे बोलना है ना? I mean personally I have encountered one person who उसके पास पॉइंट तो थे नहीं, देखो, ठीक है, and when we were speaking up, so he was getting jealous of us, right? And एक आध और बंदे थे मेरे साथ, he was getting jealous and he was just trying to right? So he didn't have any points, but still right? Anyway, so the question is कि is he open to new ideas or is he closed to new ideas, right? You can answer for yourself. And what do we require to inculcate more? Do we need to be open to ideas or do we need to be close to ideas? Correct. Group discussion हम देखते हैं. So group discussion is a free flow and exchange of ideas. Yeah, I mean it should be at least, है ना, in theory. But what happens, gentlemen, my story is correct and my point of view is correct. You guys are, everyone is wrong. Okay, I am the only one who can be correct throughout the entire history of human race, human species, right? That is the perspective people have when they go into the GD. Correct. So I hope you guys understand. So this is just one thing. अब वो भाई वो जब तीर कमान लेके पीछे पड़ जाएगा सबके, तो कौन सुनना चाहेगा भाई उसकी? कोई नहीं सुनेगा. Such people get ignored. Such people get conferenced out. ठीक है. And then they say कि सर मैंने तो सारा पूरे टाइम मैंने ही बोला था और सर फिर भी मैं सिलेक्ट नहीं हुआ. अरे भाई साहब, पूरे दिक्कत तो यही है ना, पूरे टाइम आप ही बोल रहे हो. दूसरों को भी तो ग्रुप डिस्कशन क्यों बोलते हैं? ग्रुप डिस्कशन. Why is it called group discussion? It's a matter of it's a matter you need to reconsider. Correct. Then we talk about openness to experience. ठीक है. So आपको directly कहीं पे नहीं मिलेगा, but it is visible, right? Openness to experience, what does that entail? It entails आप बाहर जा रहे हो किसी के साथ, fine. You are making friends. You are exploring what you like, what you dislike. ठीक है. Basically, you're understanding your own personality. Some experiences are so life-changing that they shape our personality. Correct? Any person who has been bungee jumping, he would not be scared of bloody commando walk, this and that. Getting my point? Any person who has gone for paragliding, river rafting, oh, चिन्नू इनसे नहीं डरेगा. ठीक है? Getting my point? So these shape your personality. Correct? They make you decide which quality do you like more in yourself. So अब ये दिखते कैसे हैं? तो आप मेरी बात समझना. PIQ जब आप उठा के देखोगे तो PIQ में जो स्पोर्ट्स सेक्शन है, एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर सेक्शन है, ठीक है, आपका एकेडमिक अचीवमेंट्स वाला सेक्शन है, ठीक है, पोजीशंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाला सेक्शन है. तो व्हाट आर दीज आर बेसिकली एक्सपीरियंसेस दैट यू हैव हैड. करेक्ट. सो द मोर यू आर ओपन टू एक्सपीरियंसेस. अच्छा, कुछ लोग मेरे से पूछते हैं कि सर मैंने तो कुछ करा ही नहीं लाइफ में. ठीक है, I haven't done anything so far. So there's it's never too late. Start off today. ठीक है. हाँ, आपके पास ये रहना चाहिए कि साल 6 महीने का आप प्लान लेके चलो. Because getting new experiences requires time, right? Time, money, planning, fine. So थोड़ा सोच के चलो. अगर नहीं एक्सपीरियंस करा है, it's not too late, है ना? Start off. Don't do it just for the SSB. Do it for yourself, right? To understand what you like, what you dislike. ठीक है. अब जबरदस्ती किसी ने बचपन में सपना देख लिया था एसएसबी में जाने का, फौज में जाने का, और डर लगता है हाइट से, तो क्या जाना चाहिए? I leave it up to you guys, right? Is it worth compromising your life and the life of others? Think about it, right? If you are able to overcome your fear of heights, excellent, ठीक है. But if somehow you still panic, let's say, just for an example, है ना, I know this is a deep one, but we're just taking it into consideration, right? Because exposure removes all kinds of fears, right? People have fear of height, people have fear of closed spaces, right? They only get used to it when they face it, correct? When they know that, okay, this thing is here and I'm still alive, right? I'm facing my fear and I'm still alive. That is when they start overcoming that fear, correct? Anyway, so the question is, if you're not able to overcome, should you go into the armed forces, right? So just one food for thought. So this was the second perspective, right? Then we come to the third one, which is disagreeability or agreeability, so to speak. So now my question to you guys is, answer this yourself. First of all, pause the video and answer this to yourself. What do you think? Any person who wants to become the officer, should he be more agreeable or should he be less agreeable? Answer it. Okay. So to answer your question, now these two things might seem to be very contradictory, है ना. तो पिछला वाला जो मैंने क्या बोला कि भाई ऐसा है कि आपने पहली चीज तो you have to be open to experience, you have to be open to ideas. So sir, don't you think it's contrary if I disagree more, है ना. तो एक बात सोचो आप, if I say you have to be open to ideas, you have to be open to experiences, Did I say you have to agree with them? Matlab, if I understand something, but I don't agree with it, correct? But I understand it, है ना? I just don't agree with it. Fine. So that is also possible, correct? So lot of times we confuse these two things. अच्छा, disagreement किस लिए हम कह रहे हैं कि like you know a person should be high on disagreement, because the thing is कि देखो भेड़-चाल जो होती है ना, भेड़-चाल और I would say conformity. सो कन्फर्म जो बंदे सोसाइटी की तरह सोसाइटी से 100% कन्फर्म करते हैं ना, दे लूज देयर इंडिविजुअलिटी. हमेशा डिसीजन उनके लिए कोई और ले रहा है, सोसाइटी ले रही है उनके लिए डिसीजन. ऑन द अदर हैंड देयर इज वन पर्सन हु फिट्स इनटू द सोसाइटी इतने तक ही वो कन्फर्म कर रहा है, ओके आई विल कन्फाइड विद योर सोशल नॉर्म्स, ठीक है, बट व्हाट आई वांट टू डू इन माय प्रोफेशन आई विल नॉट गिव टू क्रैप्स अबाउट व्हाट द सोसाइटी हैव टू से, ठीक है, आई विल बिल्ड माय ओन करियर. Correct. Now it should not be radically or criminally punishable. So just that, right? It should be the right kind of work. Anyway, so कुल मिला के क्या है कि देखो अब disagreement यहाँ पे, now this person establishes individuality, right? Plus if you see Thomas Edison, so had he agreed, had he conformed to the norms of society, bulb cannot exist, ठीक है, light cannot exist, so he would have also given up. Getting my point, and we wouldn't have had bulb here today, right? So I hope you understand. If you want to bring innovation, then you need to disagree. Fine, to a certain extent, but not to the extent when where you reject all the existing social norms, all the hierarchical structures. For example, फौज में अब आप आओगे, ठीक है, मान लो आपने बोल दिया कि अरे क्या ये रैंक स्ट्रक्चर मैं मानता ही नहीं, क्या कर लेगा कोई? And you also you will not be able to fit in, correct? You will be sidelined, right? You will be the black sheep of words. So हमें क्या ध्यान देना होता है? We conform to a certain degree as well as at the same time we disagree also. Fine. इसी तरीके से ग्रुप में भी आपको अग्रीमेंट देना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, आपको अग्री करना है. अब ये देखो कौन लॉजिकल बात कर रहा है उसका तो अग्री करो, ठीक है. कुछ लोग थोड़ी आड़ी टेढ़ी बात कर रहे होंगे तो उनसे पार्शियली डिसएग्री करके यू कैन मूव ऑन. फाइन, यू कैन प्रपोज सम करेक्शंस, मूव ऑन, करेक्ट. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल डिसएग्रीएबिलिटी. जनरली क्या देखा गया है कि मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द लीडर्स दे आर हाई ऑन डिसएग्रीएबिलिटी. इट्स नॉट द अदर वे अराउंड that everyone who is disagreeable will become a good leader, not necessary, ठीक है, but it is true. When a study was conducted of all the high leaders, all the world leaders, most of them, they have a high degree of disagreeability. Fine. So this is this, right? Then we come to conscientiousness. So conscientiousness is basically that moral compass. Don't speak over others. Be respectful. Don't bully anyone. So these are basically our conscientiousness. Why is it so? Because you have to set up an example. Forge always goes by the lead by example philosophy, right? So if you want to teach your subordinates the utility or the usefulness of moral codes and honor, courage, pride, whatever, fine. So you better display it first, and that is where conscientiousness comes in, right? So it basically helps you separate between the right and wrong, setting up a good example. So this all is part of the conscientiousness. Right. Next and finally we come at neuroticism. So guys, neuroticism is not a cakewalk. You have to understand that, right? Neuroticism is just one word, but it contains multiple subheadings, right? I'll give you a few examples and then we'll wrap up today's video. I'll be doing neuroticism in depth in the further videos. Okay. What is neuroticism basically? Right. Let's say for example, absenteeism, anxiety, depression. Then we have self-harm, right? There are a lot of things that are there, right? A lot of evils that are there. So neuroticism mein what we try to do, we try to minimize the neuroticism. We want to become a effective leader. That is the most crucial part. So आप लोगों को सुन के ही समझ में आ गया होगा that naturally speaking, neuroticism is not one thing which you want high, right? If you want to become a leader, you don't want to be high on न्यूरोटिसिज्म, करेक्ट. थोड़ा सा ऑलरेडी नेगेटिव लग रहा है ना. सो ऑन दैट नोट गाइज आई लीव यू विद दीज 5 थिंग्स, राइट? सी हाउ दे फंक्शन आउट इन योर डे टू डे लाइफ, राइट? See how you can deal with it, right? Thanks a lot.